Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Animal Kingdom Season 6, Episode 5. We only have one episode this week. I know that people probably got used to that double episode format for a while.
Yeah, we were getting real spoiled getting two episodes each time. It was all right.
It was all right. I really enjoyed that. And the thing is, of course, now I'm even more frustrated because this episode, there was some really good stuff, but it's also another trademark Animal Kingdom. We're going to slow play the lead up to the heist as long as humanly possible. And I kept waiting for the heist to start this whole time, and it never even did.
Yeah, I mean there was a little bit of lead up, but they're building. They're building. I don't mind a slow ride with the show. I know what to expect with it. So here we are, guys.
But before we get into all the big events here, including the return of an old character, be sure hit that subscribe button. We are here after every Animal Kingdom episode, breaking them down, kind of speculating as to where things could be going from here.
Also, follow us over on Instagram, Matt and Jess TV, and check out some of our other coverage. Only Murders in the Building,
Yeah.
that premiered just this week. So we're covering that. If you like a good mystery, that is a good mystery.
Okay, so the thing that I really sort of enjoyed and took away from this episode the most was really just the continuation of Pope and what he is going through in the present, where you still see he's trying everything he can to be a somewhat better or different person at the skate park, with this kid who gets hurt. He takes him to the hospital. He ends up, trying to find him even a place to stay. And it's like the more that he does this, the more he's sort of throwing himself in the lion's den here.
Yeah, he doesn't know that this kid is connected to Detective Thompson. And I kind of wonder how much Detective Thompson's actually going to be able to get out of this kid. Like, it's starting to feel like this kid is becoming attached to Pope in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. He hurt himself at the skate park. Pope took him to the hospital, paid for him to be at the hospital, found him sleeping under the ramp, was like, no, 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 you're not going to do that. You're going to come back to the house. You can't go in the house, but
Yeah.
you can sleep in the garage. Here's, blow up mattress. I'm going to get you sandwich. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, and there was a moment where this kid really did seem appreciative. It was just like, thank you for helping me. Thank you for taking care of me.
It's a real interesting dilemma, and I hope the kid turns on Detective
Me
Thompson down the
too.
road. It's just a situation where, and if you're putting somebody like this deep undercover, especially with somebody like Pope, eventually you may start to realize, do I really want to help to get this guy implicated? Like, does he seem like that bad a guy? Not really. It could cause some real quandaries.
I don't want to see this situation where the season ends and Pope is back in jail. I mean, we
No.
saw Detective Thompson go and talk to his old cellmate as well and learn that Pope was talking about Catherine, like Catherine was his wife, and that he was waiting to get out to see her, but really it was Baz's wife. And it was an interesting sort of link for Detective Thompson to run with, but I mean, I don't know how that's really gonna get him anywhere. Being in love with Catherine's not enough to have motive.
No, it's not, and it's still got a long way to go. And
Yeah.
granted, there's a lot of episodes left too, but I just think eventually it's probably going to get worse for Pope. I just hope that this is not the way that it gets worse for Pope with this kid.
Yeah, because we've also seen a lot of growth now that Smurf is gone
Yeah,
with Pope really finding himself. Because one of the ongoing themes of Pope's life is religion. We even heard Baz calling him Pope Andrew, so we know where that's coming from now. But we saw Pope as a teenager. I don't know who this actor is that is playing Pope as a
yeah,
teenager, but if you happen to be watching this video, you are a 10 out of 10, my friend. You
yeah,
are so good in this role, like down to like the enunciations of the way
yeah,
that Sean speaks. So good. All the people that have played Pope in the past,
yeah.
like young Pope from last season, 10 out of 10. So good. Anyways, we've seen now Pope dealing with uh, religion and feeling like a sense of belonging. as a teenager. We also saw Amy return, who we remember from season 2, where he was in a relationship with her and she was part of like this bigger church that they were getting ready to rob or whatever. But I mean, that relationship and again being attached spiritually with religion was something that was meaningful to Pope and was hitting home with him. And so it was another sort of connection. Then we saw him last season with the commune, kind of more of a different type of spirituality, but he is really connected to this throughout his life.
The biggest takeaway I had from Amy coming back was like, oh, it's Jen Landon. And, we're covering Yellowstone here at the channel. And she plays Teeter on Yellowstone. Every time I see Jen Landon now and she's not doing the Teeter voice, I get really thrown off. I was like, oh, that's what your actual voice sounds like. I forgot.
She's incredible.
No, it was really fun to see her again, even if it was for a short period of time. And it's another bit of insight into everything that Pope has sort of gone through, and him wrestling in the past with the guilt of everything that happens with this church, with, him even bringing back, this really ancient Bible, and he's trying once again to not be that sort of person who Smurf is wanting him to be, but he's getting brainwashed, and at certain points, like, that brainwashing is just gonna like come back and trigger him.
Yeah, watching him hitting that priest
Yeah.
and seeing the pain inside Pope himself, where he's just, you can see that he's so struggling with this. He didn't want to rip off the church so much that he brought the Bible back, and the priest showing up and being like, okay, I know you did it, but Jesus forgives you. Everyone's
Yeah.
forgiven. Like, we can get through this. That Pope just can't hear it because he knows that as much as he believes that or wants to hear that or wants to be part of that, Smurf is never going to allow that. That
No.
he is always going to be stuck on this other side as long as his mother is around. And I think that's really what that frustration was when he was hitting that priest, that he was just like, I just am never going to have this. And this is my anger towards me never getting to have what I want.
Poor guy is just like continuously frustrated and dealt that's a bad hand. Like, more and more, the more we see of Pope, the more it sort of is clear that, okay, he can be good if he has the right influences around him. And unfortunately, now in the present, he still has Jay. And Jay is still all about the shady business. He's all about trying to find a way to continue to further along his heist, his plans. Clearly, Jay is also in the, I want things I can't have camp when it comes, of course, to his new love interest that I know everyone is so excited about.
Yeah, so her husband has come back
Yeah.
and she's broken things off, and Jay is just straight up, she's the one kind of thing because he can't have her.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you guys know how we feel about that. Jay is a really interesting character. And he's interesting when he's running things and he's
Yeah.
trying to be the new Smurf and trying to keep the family in money and in business. And I just don't care about this love interest. And it's nothing against the actress and whatever, but it's just Jay just doesn't need a love interest every single season.
No, and it's also completely reckless. It's just like, okay, you two are like having a secret rendezvous, and like her husband is just like inside. He can come back at any point here.
Yeah, it's really reckless. And even if Pope is telling you, Jay,
Yeah.
that you are being reckless, then
Yeah.
you need to listen to that because he's the most reckless out of all of them. And I say that knowing that Craig is part of this family. It is Pope. And for Pope to be like, that woman is clearly married. And if that husband comes around, that's going to be a problem for all of us. Like, can you think a bit further out than just this?
Andrew, the voice of reason,
I know,
comes
right?
through.
Here
No, Jade's going to come into some sort of big problem, and I hope he
course.
does. I hope there's just something that really justifies this storyline's existence. Because it's like, with Craig, we at least have a further sense of what's going on here now that, he's found himself a new friend. He's kind of got this new part of his life. And I think because of some of this, plus, being a father, I think he's really getting pushed further away from wanting to be involved in some of this stuff. Like, he shows up very late to the meeting with the lawyer. He doesn't seem that into doing jobs at this point.
Yeah, he's less and less into kind of doing jobs. They did this sort of smash and grab again with Vince in this truck,
Yeah.
and by the end of it, he was just like, "I'm out on this
Yeah.
piddly crap. It is not what I'm interested in. If I'm going to go to jail, I'm not going to jail for this. Like, just stop. Don't bring me in on this anymore." And there was a part of me that kind of like I Vince has another game. There is
Yeah.
something here. Like it's too coincidental that I'm kind of wondering if I mean everyone knows who the Cody boys are. That I'm
Yeah.
wondering if Vince and his crew are like, okay, listen. We need one of the Codys. We do not need all of the Codys. We don't want to cut them all in. But if we can just pull one of them out in with us, maybe we can get some bigger jobs that are a little less smash and grab and a little more, well thought out. So we'll grab Craig, the brains of the operation.
Craig. Now see, I still want to die on the hill that I think that we're seeing, some sort of larger operation going on here behind the scenes where maybe, we're seeing him report to somebody else and like Craig is being used for something that's a larger end game down the road. I mean, once again, that just may be, reaching for things that aren't exactly there. I think, the fundamental whole purpose of the storyline may just be we want to separate these Cody boys as much as possible and make them really struggle to think about, is this life sustainable? Like, is this something that we can really do forever, especially without Smurf as sort of a binding force for us?
The moment that Craig slept with Vince's
Yeah.
ex-wife and he was like, no problem. I was like, okay, there's something else.
Yes.
There's obviously some sort of a bigger score that's going on with Vince for him to just be like, no
Yeah.
problem. You wanna sleep with my no problem. I was like, ooh. Okay, what's the bigger game?
Is kind of also the way that I describe the Darren storyline at the moment, because it is just sort of like, okay, Darren, you've got your business, you're doing all right with that, you're trying to plan some stuff out. It's just Darren is where are we going with Darren? I don't know.
They do not know what to do with Darren. They truly don't. The fact
No.
that they are circling around to this son of a beach bar a second time,
Yeah.
that storyline was not interesting enough the first time. I'm sorry, it just wasn't.
No.
That we're going to have new people who have bought that bar who are like, listen, the old owner, he wanted to unload this because he had problems with you. So we're here to just offer you 3% right away of everything that we earn for you to leave us alone. I was just like, okay, this is the storyline. And Darren's kind of like, I don't know, like talking to Jay about it. I would probably need closer to 5. They might be able to actually run me out of business. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, get 5 then. It's like, this is the storyline there. I feel like they can do more with him. Darren's a really interesting character, and they've done a lot with him in the past. So, yeah, dipping into this, the bar owner down the street. I'm like, oh no, no, come on.
The only thing I would be excited about with this is if this bar owner down the street ends up becoming like a Mark or somebody who they target down the line, and it's like his, professional, like away from the business becomes like even more intertwined in all of this, and this ends up sort of dooming them. But even with that, like watching the Cody boys take out some like bar owners, not anywhere near as exciting as like watching them, steal a safe or try to like take some art out of a really highly guarded building. There's so many more interesting things you can do with them.
This season started with Darren, where that whole I'm going to be the Oceanside Batman and
Yeah.
I'm going to be here and I'm going to take care of the community in like a kind of dark vigilante kind of way.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is a story. Hello, I'm here for this. I have stepped up to the plate to have this served to me. And then all of a sudden it's just kind of like, no.
I miss Oceanside Batman.
Me too.
All right, guys, bring that back. Keep doing what you're doing with Pope. We're not even hating on the flashbacks right now, so you guys are doing a good job with that.
Yes.
This has the potential to be the best season I think they've had since, Ellen Barkin's final season on the show. So hopefully it keeps building in this path. Hopefully some of these stories we're watching have meaning down the road.
Yeah, so far I really like this season, like quite a bit.
Well, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss our other reviews, discussions on the rest of things moving forward. and we will see you here next time.